Nice to meet you, Stephen.
Yes, Mazdam. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Very good. So that was
Yeah,
the
the
issue. Yeah.
not-tree Jesus is everywhere, and like I did put that uh, diagram. I think it gives a good juxtaposition of points. Some are truer than others,
Yeah.
especially on the Messiah. But what I would like to point out is the Hebrew roots Messianic Judaism context of your discussion. You know, it isn't really the main thing. I think it is this discussion of psychological manipulation and the isolation
Yeah.
we have in society today. We're all longing for community, but we're so vulnerable because of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I look back at my life and I can only say God has protected me uh, and allowed me to be in not perfect communities, but healthy communities. And it is a tremendous privilege. I think the problem from an American, we're a nation uh, that can easily isolate. And you can see this is really what's going on now in the United States. We want to be out of everybody else's world, though we've made everybody else's world miserable through our military industrial complex and our
Yeah.
machinations,
Mm.
as we've well documented. But the reality is that we cannot disengage, and we need to be involved. I mean, you're called today to action.
Yeah.
And it is just that one step, that one, reaching out, whatever you can do. I mean, I'm tremendously blessed because I have a dear wife that runs circles around me that motivates me to do these things. She's the one,
Baruch Hashem.
and in many ways, we're a team. I mean, I've been a little bit more uh, tired lately because of a lot of our activity over the last years, as everybody has been through the ringer through COVID. But
Mm.
we did manage to get sent out again back to Europe, and been quite active. And but I'm thankful that wherever we go, we need to bloom where we're planted, and it's just a little thing. It's not a big movement, and I think those big movements, as was just highlighted, are where these narcissistic personalities can take over many others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I believe, bloom where you're planted.
I
One
like that
little,
phrase.
small is beautiful. E.F. Schumacher
Hmm.
wrote a great book. I think connects into that, being and trusting God that He will use your small action to have a tikkun olam repercussion. So that's what we're striving to do. It's not a call uh,
Yeah.
that is unmanageable. It is manageable because God created you with your gifts, and that we thank the Lord that we can do something. And I'm thankful to have been able to hear today your wonderful story, painful story, um, but knowing that you're just engaging, you're not giving up, and that means a lot to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
It's
love the
very,
yeah.
very encouraging. I mean, especially, I mean, I wouldn't have blamed you for giving up on faith entirely,
Mm.
considering what you'd been through. But Baruch Hashem, there's something which spoke to you, and you understood it because of your experiences, and I think that's really, really valuable. That you saw something because of your experiences, which other people are not able to see. But essentially, you saw the demon version
Mm.
of Jesus, which when you saw it very realistically because of the abuses which have been put upon you. I think, please forgive me for saying this, I hope it doesn't sound cruel or heartless. I think you're blessed that you experienced that false Jesus through the cult rather than as an individual in the Church of One, which is what so many of these people out here are experiencing. They're in the same cult that you're in, but there are no
Yeah.
other members in that cult, and therefore they are. It's impossible for them to break out of that cult. It's like you only need an act of God is going to wake them up, and they're going to walk blindfold right into the hellfire because they will not wake up out of this cult of one that they are in, unfortunately.
I think I may have tasted that actually when
Mhm.
I had first became a Christian,
Yes.
because I was such a nasty individual before I became a Christian, and and I went through my first 3 weeks at church just wondering which guy am I going to end up beating up,
Oh
and
no.
and then the fourth week I stopped interacting with the people that I had been interacting with, and I looked around and I saw a bunch of lonely individuals. I saw a bunch of just heartbroken people, depressed people, full of anxieties, and I just started hanging out with them, and it turned into this natural friendship. A bunch of people who had formerly been isolated were all coming together, and we were doing things together, and we were praying together, and we were going out to eat together, and the leaders at church saw it, and in short time they wanted to bring me into their circle,
Oh, sure.
and I very much became, within the first 6 months of deciding to become a Christian as an adult. Within the first 6 months, I very much became a disciple of Yeshu Notsuri, and I very much realized that, like, what's the difference in me being a Christian versus what I was before I decided to become a Christian?
Uh-huh.
And I dropped it. I dropped it like a bad habit. And I said, like, if I'm going to be at church, I need to take this book seriously.
Right.
And in
Right.
short time, the leaders dropped me,
Oh,
you know,
because you
because
decided
the
to take it
arrogance was
seriously.
gone. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, the arrogance was gone, but
the cockiness
the
had gone. A lot of
the
these
talk,
churches,
yeah,
they do. Yeah,
absolutely,
that's what I was talking about. That in the same way that this Yellow Deli was looking for people at the bottom of the barrel who had the characteristics of the narcissist to be able to, or the psychopath, to raise them up through the ranks. So too, many of these larger churches are also just wanting you to be a narcissist, to be the same, but now to blaspheme Jesus while doing it. And off you go. You've accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Now carry on being a filthy person, because this is the hyper grace churches. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
you make up their critical mass in their mega church, and you're
yeah,
just a sheeple
yeah,
enjoying your little Jesus culture.
yeah. No, these are very, very bad. But it's so you tasted that, but then you went into and saw it in a communal. So you'd had both sides of it. Then you'd seen both sides of the dark coin.
sure did.
Yeah. It's very good. We have Martin here as well. Shalom, Martin. Thank you for joining us.
Hey everybody! I was
Hello.
kind of late getting in, so I didn't really hear everything that you guys were talking about before.
Well, we were talking about different experience. Just Living has been in with many different communities throughout his life. He's got the whole CV of communal living. So he was
Who's that?
on the screen with us. Just Living here.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a whole CV of different experiences with communal living, and so I thought it was useful to listen to his experiences, because I'm encouraging people to get into communal living, and I want them to be aware of the dangers of what to look out for.
Yeah.
Not to join the wrong communal. I think what Faznab said was very, very helpful. Grow where you're planted. Essentially.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave behind everything. You just have to go and find